that how you do it?
Here's what we're going to do today. What we're going to do is, you were sent here to work with me today because you want to go to college. Is that correct? Okay, good. We're all in the right spot. And they sent you to a good person because my, I think, greatest strength as a teacher is teaching writing. There are things that I do well and things that I don't do so well. And I think the thing that I'm the best at is teaching writing. College application writing is a very, very difficult thing. That's why Mrs. Quarles organized for you to be here with me, because you probably didn't realize this. If you had looked at the prompts, or you had looked at some of the writing samples that you do on college essays, you didn't know this, and I'm going to tell you. And it's a big secret, and the colleges would say, no, that's not true. It is, I promise you. It's a trap. It's a trick. When you looked at those prompts, did you notice how vague they are compared to the prompts your English teachers give you? You can look at those prompts, and it's almost like they're intentionally confusing. They ask you to tell a story, or they ask you, tell me about a time in your life when you failed, or that kind of thing, which you could answer in a paragraph, or you could just tell a little story to answer. And that's the trap. The trap is they set you up with a prompt that is very, very difficult to create a logical essay from. Now, this is what's really, really important. You probably might think, logically, because you're smart people, that your answer is what they're looking at, right? That's what your teachers do. I'm looking at your answer. Yes, I look at your grammar. Yes, I look at your structure. But if I want to know if you learned something, I am looking at your answer to the question or your response to the prompt. And I see lots of seniors all the time really stress themselves out about picking the right prompt because of what they have the good answer to, or an answer that they feel would connect with somebody, right? I read a lot of these essays. I have 55 seniors right now. All 55 of them are planning on attending college. And when I deal with these people, some of them have incredibly heartfelt stories. When they ask you about something that affected your life, people will write about a sibling who passed away, a family member who experienced serious health problems, a serious failure or a serious challenge that they went through. And a lot of times, and I understand why, they think, I've got a good answer. My answer is a very good one. Except that's not what they're looking at. It's a trick. What they're looking at is not what you said. That's not fair. It's not because of your life or my life. That's not right to say, okay, you got into this college or you didn't get into this college because of what happened to you, right? Because the honest truth is, my friends, if you just made up a story, would the college you applied to ever know? No, they wouldn't. And so if you got into colleges based on your heartfelt story, people who can write a good story would always get in. Except they're not looking at the answer. What they're looking at is if you organize the essay in a logical and clear manner. What we're really going to talk about for the most part today is organization. Having 2 to 3 paragraphs, and that those paragraphs work in a logical progression of thought, that they make sense, and that they are very, very neat and tidy, and that they move on. Or that they move logically. So, I know nobody wants to listen to me talk, but I just needed to say that because before we get started today, it is absolutely essential that you understand it's not your answer. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's all that matters. All right, guys, listen real quick. If you're looking at the 5 Common App essays, or on any of the colleges you are looking and they have multiple choices, listen carefully, based on what I just said. Which prompts should you choose? How do you make a decision about if you're given 3 prompts or 5 prompts? Which one do you choose? How do you make that decision?
Which one's more logical?
Very good. Fantastic. The one that is the easiest to organize. Not the one that you have an answer that just pops into your head. The one that makes clear, logical sense about how to organize the essay into 2 or 3 paragraphs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you got to pick a logical choice. Not a choice that sounds good, but one that you know you could write a logical essay about. Alright, it seems like everybody has a prompt, at least, and that's good. We can move forward. Those are the Common App ones. If you don't know what to pick, the Common App ones will work. There are multiple people in the room. We're just going to do a Common App one today because they don't know what to do. So, remember, this is not about what you say. It's about how you say it. They are looking at your structure, they're looking at your organization, they're looking at your grammar, and they're looking at your word choice. They are not looking at your answer.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So like, are they expecting like big words or like just?
Well, first of all, they're expecting accurate words. That's most important.
Not like doing the most type of words. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. They do, one of the things that I'm going to do when I look through your essay is try and replace some words and talk to you about upping your vocabulary in some of those things. What's most important for you is that you just write clearly and how you normally write. And then my job will be to fix the grammar and look at your word choice and see if I can't do some switch outs. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in that part together.
Thank you.
Okay, so what you have to do is remember that these prompts are tricks. And what we have to do is look at the prompt, deconstruct it, and then figure out how we would organize an essay. Most of these essays are going to be between 200 and 600 words. And we'll get back to that later about how to do a word count and things like that. But for right now, here's what I want you to do. I asked you to write that prompt on a big piece of paper. So what we have to do is look at the prompt, and we really want to focus on the verbs. Now look at this prompt. Reflect on a time when you challenged a belief or idea. Okay? This is an actual prompt. I think it's from the University of Maryland. What does the word reflect mean?
To look back on.
Very good. So what this prompt just told me to do looks like this. Ready? It's good, wasn't it? You want to see it again?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to pose this time. Do you see how I reflected? Do you see that reflection? When I say it's a trick, that's what I mean. They said, reflect on a time when you challenged a belief. What did they mean? They said they wanted you to tell me the story. They want you to tell me what happened. Does that make sense? If you did what that prompt says, you'd be way off. And you wouldn't realize that you were supposed to tell a story in the first paragraph. Now the second part. What prompted you to act? Because it was wrong. Because I disagreed. Is that what they want? No, what do they want? They want you to explain why you chose to challenge that belief. Makes sense, right? What prompted you to act? Would you make the same decision again? No. No, I wouldn't. Can I go to your college now? I answered the question. Can I please go to your college now? That's not, no. This is what I mean. It's a trap. What they want you to do is explain the result. What happened, right? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it worth it? Was it not? Why or why not? And you need to use evidence to support it. So if I look at this prompt, what I get is, tell me a story, right? Paragraph 1. What happened? Paragraph 2. Tell me why you chose to act. Paragraph 3. Reflect, actually write a reflection. Was it good? Was it bad? Would you do it again? Why or why not? And use evidence. 3 paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. That's not what the prompt says to do. We had to figure that out. So what I want you to do for about the next 15 minutes At 4 o'clock, we're gonna try and start writing. I have to put you all guys all into the Schoology course, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna come check on you. What I want you to do on your piece of paper is what I did up here. I want you to look at the prompt, I want you to look at the verbs, and I want you to try and figure out 2 or 3 things that this prompt is actually asking you to do, and then I'm gonna come check. Does that make sense? May the force be with you. So let me put it this way. You have written on Google and I have the link to your document. Tomorrow, Friday, and over the weekend, I'm going to be checking in on you. I'm going to be checking in on your document. You have to go back and look. When you open up that document, you're going to see comments from me, and you're going to see text in green where I've changed things. You have to go through and accept these changes and go ahead and modify your essay. If you need to come back down and talk to me, I do not have classes 5, 6, or 7, 8. I'm done at 11:23, and you are more than welcome to come down at any time at that and ask a question as long as you have permission from wherever you're supposed to be. Yes, ma'am?
Like, do you like leave or like you're here?
No, I'll be here. If I'm not here, I ran out to Wawa to get lunch and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll be back in 10 minutes. If I'm not in the room, I'll be right back. Tell Ms. McAllister or leave a note on the door or something and I'll be back. But no, I will be here in the school from 11:23 till 3 o'clock. I can help you. So make sure you look back for comments.
Oh, that's what I did.
Huh?
I used that.
What?
Word count tool.
You have to, right? You have to use the word count tool because all of these assignments have a word count on them. If you go over the word count, listen carefully, by even one word, what they do is they cut your essay off at that number of words, which means the last sentence of your essay, is a grammatically incorrect sentence, right? So they dock you for breaking the rules, then they dock you for bad grammar because they chopped off your sentence. Those word rules, part of why they do that is, can you follow the rules? You know what I mean? It's like a test hidden in a test to find out if you can follow. This side, and by the way, you're in this course now, which means you can go back and look at our slides from today at any time. Just go to courses and look at it and you can see these. Here's Google Docs on the left, tools, word count. You can highlight a paragraph or a whole page or the whole essay and then hit word count and it will tell you how many letters, how many spaces, and most importantly, how many words. If you were using Microsoft Word, it's on the right, it looks exactly the same. Tools, word count, and that will give you the number of words that you have. Don't play around. If they said 250, that means 249, right? Don't play around if you're like, oh, I got 251, I read it 10 times, I can't. Bring it to me, I promise you I can get rid of a word. I just did it to Jalen's in 5 seconds. We got rid of 8 words real quick. Yes, Melissa?
I was speaking this one lady, or for my summer program, she was a counselor, admission counselor for like colleges, and she was telling a story, like she literally throws them out if you go over.
Right, because you didn't, I think their argument is that you didn't follow the rules.
Yeah, that's what
So I think maybe best case scenario is they cut it off, worst case scenario, they basically don't consider you. So we want to keep that in mind because that is very serious business. First of all, let me say, you all deserve to go to college. You stayed after school. I'm getting paid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense, right? You should pay experts for their time, right? That's fair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You all were not. The definition of maturity is being able to connect an action today to a reward or a consequence tomorrow. That's what it means to be mature. And I'm so proud of each of you because you sat here for the past 3 hours and worked on something that there is nothing in it for you today other than that you're hungry and you're tired and you want to go home. And I can't really talk too much about it because when I look out at a room like this, I see hope and I see the future. And I know that my children are going to be okay because they're going to grow up in a world where you all are going to be leaders. And if I talk about it for too long, I'll start to cry. So I just want you to know that I know I can be a bit gruff, but I'm really, really proud of what everybody in here did today. It was wonderful to spend the afternoon with you. I rather would have been home with my own children, but this was a close second. You guys were, it was wonderful to spend the afternoon with you. You were hard, you worked so hard, and you were concerned, and I wish you the best of luck. Because you deserve it, because people who work hard like you did are the people that we need to go to college and be in positions of power. So thank you all for coming, and thank you for trying.